What's up, guys? Gonna go through another mobility routine. Only gonna be about 10, maybe 15 minutes long. Just working through some mobility exercises. We're thinking about mobility being range of movement around a joint. So in particular, we'll focus around the hips, do a little bit of work on the thoracic spine as well. Okay, so first one we're gonna do is gonna be a squats routine. So get your feet about shoulder distance apart, then just hinge forward at the hips, let yourself come right the way down. Should get a stretch through your hamstrings. From there, bring it over to one side. And walk yourself over to the other. You can have a slight bend in the knees, not too much. But you should feel a stretch through the back of your leg, through your hamstrings. Alright, drop the hips all the way down. Here it's important that you're keeping your feet flat so you're not coming up on the toes, and just going to sink into it nice and easy. Spend some time in the bottom of the squat. Ideally with your feet, you're going to have them straight, toes facing forward. If your ankles start turning out, if your feet start turning out, it just shows that you may be a little tight around the ankles, but try and keep them as straight as possible. I'm just going to move about in this position, keeping the feet flat on the floor, moving the weight onto one side, pushing the knee forward and onto the other. Okay, from there, elbows inside your knees. I'm just going to push your knees out, loosening up through those hips. If you're comfortable there, you can go knuckles and really try and push them out a little bit further. You can even hold your feet. Just try and push your knees out as much as possible. Alright, one for the thoracic spine. Grab one ankle, tuck your shoulder in, and you're going to rotate right the way up, trying to pull your shoulder as far back as possible. Bringing it down, and we'll go on the other side. Bringing it down. From there, both hands up above the head, trying to pull your hands as far back as possible, and stand it up. We'll go through that whole routine again. So feet shoulder distance apart. Hinging forward at the hip, letting your body fold all the way down. Get a nice stretch through your hamstrings. Try and get comfortable in all the positions you're doing. Move about. See what feels good for you. Turning it round to one side. And walking it across to the other. Back to the middle. Okay, and then the hips drop into that deep squat position. Again, trying to keep your feet facing as straight as possible. And we're just going to move back in this position. This one's great just for loosening up through your ankles. So trying to keep your your feet facing as straight as possible. Pushing your knee over your toes as much as you can while keeping the foot flat. Okay, have you organised your spine so you come up so you're sitting nice and tall. Elbows inside your knees. And push the knees out. Alright, grab an ankle, tuck your shoulder in, and rotate up, trying to pull that top shoulder as far back as possible. Alright, bringing it down, grab the other ankle, rotating up. Bring it back down, hands up above the head, trying to pull those hands as far back as possible. Make sure you're breathing through this, eyes up as well so you're not looking down. And stand it up. Okay, another great one for the hips. Going to stretch out through the glutes. So try and get your shin horizontal. You're going to go over your shin and then you can just slide back into it. With this, try and make sure your hips are facing forward so you're not sitting down to the side or turning the other way. Hips are facing straight into the floor. Nice and long through the spine as well. And just get comfortable in that position. You should feel it stretching through your glutes. You'll feel it through your hip joint as well. If you're comfortable there, you can start sliding back a little bit more into the stretch. Try and stay nice and long through the spine. Don't just hunch up here. Nice and long through your spine. And we're going to turn to your knee. So whatever knee you have forward, turn so you're facing that knee. Alright, bring it back so you're facing forward. Nice and long through the spine. I'm just going to let the shoulders drop, but you're going to try and not round your back. Alright, bring it up. I'm going to change legs. So try and get your shin pretty much horizontal. Hips facing the floor. So again, we're not letting ourselves come to the side. Hips directly over. Slide yourself back a little bit. And whatever knee you have forward, turn to face that knee. Back to facing the front, nice and long through the spine. Just let those shoulders start to come down. Should feel a bit more of a stretch. All through your hip, all through your glute. Bringing it up. Okay, another good one for your hip. Help and stretch out through your groin as well. You're gonna come feet wide, get your hands nice and close to your butt, bring yourself up and slide yourself forward. Try and keep your butt off the floor. Should feel a stretch through the inside of your leg. Okay, butt down, hands in, bring yourself up again, and come forward. As you push yourself forward, your feet will start to come into that splits position. And the last one, butt down, bring the hands in, up, bring yourself forward. Alright, bring it down. Okay, next one. Lying down on your mat. Grab underneath your knee. Sorry, bring one foot across and then grab underneath your knee. You can even hold your ankle and you're just going to start pulling your knee towards you. whichever leg you have up, you should feel it through your hip and through your glute of that side. And we're going to change sides. So bring one foot over, grab underneath your knee. Try and avoid grabbing your knee here. Grab underneath your knee, pull it towards you. You can adjust your ankle position. So as I say, whichever leg you have up, you should feel it through the hip and through the glute of that leg. All right, bring the legs back down. From here, bring one knee up. You're going to bring that one across to the opposite side, and then you're going to let your arm drop down, and you're going to try and get your knee as close to the floor as possible, and that top shoulder as close to the floor as possible, facing away from your leg. Alright, bring your leg up and swap it over. So knee up, it drops across to the opposite side. And then you're going to try and get that shoulder to the floor, facing away from your leg. Alright, bring that up. Next one we're going to do, you can double over your mat if you need to for this one, because you're going to have your knee on the floor. It's a great one to stretch out for your hip flexor. So foot comes out in front of you, you're just going to lean into it, pushing your hips forward. So you should feel it through your hip flexor of the back leg. Okay, from there, if you can, grab your ankle, bring it up, to come into a deeper stretch, through your hip flexor, through your quad. Bring your foot back down. Ooh. Alright, from there, bring the hands up, and you're going to stretch back as if you're going to try and touch your foot. So we're stretching back at a bit of an angle. Alright, change those legs over. So as I say, we're stretching through the hip flexor of the back leg. Try and relax all your muscles here. And you're just going to push the hips forward so you feel it stretch right away through there. Okay, if you can, grab your foot, bring it into a slightly deeper stretch, feel it a little bit more through your quad. down, back into our hip flexor stretch. And both hands up, and we're going at that angle as if you're going to stretch back and touch your foot. Alright, bringing it down. Okay, last one we're going to do. Sitting down, feet together, bring them in as much as possible. We're just going to try and push your knees down towards the floor. So holding your feet, pushing your knees as close to the floor as you can get them. You should feel a stretch through your groin, inside of your legs. Again, from there, it's going to turn to one side. Back to the middle, across to the other side. Back to the middle. Again, just pushing your knees down. Alright, legs out. Shake them out a little bit. Alright guys, that was just a quick 10-minute blast of some mobility. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy.